All right, proud of our team. Sweeping is hard to do, and Xavier's got a good club. They'll be in a regional this year like they were last year. They can really hit, very offensive. So we knew we were going to get, their best bolt today, and there was no quit in them. They're well coached, and a few lead changes and battle back, and they've got a lot of threats in their lineup. So for our guys to be able to put up 11 runs, but be able to do it from a deficit at times, multiple times throughout the day was big. Drawing 11 walks was big. And then just the two-strike hitting, the two-out hitting, the applying pressure, we were able to force some errors today just by being aggressive and making things happen. So I thought we had to create a few things, and we knew we would have to come out and earn it today, and I thought our guys did a good job of that. Matthew Marchal, Rob Hughes really kind of settled the game down a little bit in the middle, and it was tough. But days like today, Energy Sunday, playing for a sweep, you're wearing the white hat, you need leadership on the field, and we got it from our captain and Blake Wright. Scored 3 runs, knocked in 3 runs. Was just kind of in the middle of all the action, and so it was just a good day. It's good, tough, hard-earned sweep, and proud of our guys to finish the weekend off right.
Questions for players?
I guess Blake, with the bases loaded, you guys had some struggles yesterday, and I think early on you did. I mean, how much was there pressure building to kind of bring in some runs, and how do you guys respond to that?
No additional pressure, but that was definitely a point of emphasis in the in the scouting meeting. When we get runners in scoring position like that, we got to execute. I thought we did a very good job of doing that today.
I guess what does it mean to sweep them? And how important was that for you guys?
Yeah. I mean, Xavier, they're a very good team. They had a good run last year, and they're going to be a good team this year. But it's a great start. It's how you want to start. So just keep it going.
I guess Matt, how different is it coming into a game not starting and kind of having to come in?
I mean, it's a little different, but you just got to treat it the same. I mean, when you get the ball in the mound, it's the same mindset. You got to be in that attack mindset. Throw a lot of strikes, let your defense work, and everything else take care of itself.
What did you feel like was working for you today?
I thought just pitching the contact early and then throwing the slider was really effective, and then just kind of letting the defense work. We have a really good outfield. Crichton, Alden, Cam, they made some incredible plays out there. Really good defense, so it's just allowing them to just go make plays for us.
Like 33 runs this weekend. Is this kind of what you guys expected, and is this kind of what we can expect to see out of you guys offensively this year?
Yeah, for sure. Heck yeah. We have a really good offense. We got some really good players, 1 through 9, and even some guys on the bench. We got a really good offense, and we're connected.
Any other questions for the players? All right, thank you, players. Questions for Coach?
Yeah, with that, Coach, from a hitting standpoint, if you kind of look at this weekend, and I know you got to go back and watch some things, but what's your overall thoughts on it and things of that nature?
I thought the two-strike hitting, two-out hitting, quality at-bats. I mean, we have offensive game goals, and it's to have 50% quality at-bats. It's to have plus-minus in walks and hit by pitches compared to strikeouts. We were really good in those 2 categories this weekend. We have some other goals in terms of getting runners to third from second with no outs, and then knocking in some runs from third with less than 2 outs. We were good on Friday. We were not good yesterday. Now have to go see if we hit our goal, but we want to be at least 70% executing that. So we're probably close today. The big innings were really the storyline of the weekend, of just being able to, big inning for us is 3 or more runs, and to be able to have, multiple innings in a game where you're scoring 3 or more runs. I mean, that's huge. We did it 3 times today. We had twice on Friday. We had the 4 spot yesterday. So it's just, it's a good offense because it's a 1 through 9 offense. And then there's like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 on the bench too, that would hit in the middle of the order of a lot of teams. So we do feel good about the depth and just the balance. You know, there's no easy outs in that lineup. And you saw it today because it's, you know, we have these key performance indicators about wanting to hit the ball hard and hit the ball hard consistently, but to get into good counts, you got to have good plate decisions, and plate decisions is one of the things we work on daily. Just swinging at strikes and taking balls and having a really good approach. And our guys, tip of the cap to them. With less than 2 strikes, they are hunting pitches to do damage with, and with 2 strikes, they're battling. And what they find is if they can hold the zone, they're going to draw a lot of walks, and it's just a good, so far so good. We just got to. All right, we've scored a lot of runs this weekend. See what made us successful, and we can't get complacent. We just got to keep with the things that fundamentally that make us a good offense, and I think we will because we have the right guys.
Now, speaking of the depth, I mean, a guy like Jack Crichton's 2-4 today. I mean, how difficult is it just making out the lineup card every day, and how do you figure out like an opportunity to put in like a Jack Crichton?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough because there's guys like Nate Hall and Jaron Purify, and Devin Parks is coming back from a little bit of a pulled hammy, but he's fine. He'll be out there in a few weeks, or 2 weeks, I don't know. But we have guys that are really, really talented, not starting. So it's a good problem to have, but it is still something that's top of mind. And so what we saw Friday is when we can expand a margin, we're gonna put a bunch of guys in. And even today, Justin Legurnick from the pitching side, we have the same thing. 4-run game, 9th inning. It's not like the most ideal time to throw a freshman in there for his collegiate debut with a fresh Lucas Malstad, who's used to going back to back to back. But maybe that's what we're gonna have to start doing, is just throwing guys in the fire a little bit, knowing that we have other people that can help them out. So maybe that might mean that you'll see a freshman spot start positionally on a Tuesday, and you may see some of these guys that just get their feet wet. I think that's our obligation as coaches. We have to do that and get these guys in there to kind of groom them, because a lot of them are the next wave of great Clemson Tigers. So we gotta get them going.
And with Will Taylor, I guess, why was he not?
His grandfather died, and so he was at the celebration of life today. So he'll be back tomorrow, and we texted the family just our thoughts and prayers with Will's grandfather, his father's father. So that's where he was today, and then Jacob Gerald just kind of still a little bit sore from just tweaked his low back a little bit. I don't think it's anything more than just sore muscle, and he'll probably be back in there Tuesday. But it's things like that happen throughout the course of a season. You have the family, something comes up with the family, you have a pulled muscle, you have someone, whatever. And just to be able to get guys in off the bench and then have those guys contribute, it's a big deal. That's going to be super helpful as we go along in this season.
Erik, how did you feel about your arms this weekend, overall starters and guys coming out of the bullpen?
Yeah, I mean, like anything, a hitter, his first AB, he's probably, his heart is beating fast, and then by the time his second, third, and fourth AB settled in, and with pitching, it's like you take the mound for that first time, and it's, it can, you saw it moving really fast Friday in the top of the first for all of us. And so the pitching, I would almost reserve judgment to let a few more games take place, because every pitcher that's taking the mound for us is literally making their season debut, and some of them their Clemson debut, and some of them their collegiate debut. So I do think we've got a really good pitching staff, and I think as we kind of settle in, and Gordo's gonna start on Tuesday, and we've got some really good pitchers that didn't pitch this weekend. Not just Austin Gordon, but Joe Allen and Ethan Darden and Ty Olenchuk and others. And those are the guys that'll be available on Tuesday, as well as some of the guys that pitched in relief this weekend. Should we need them on Tuesday in high leverage situations? So we do. It's a luxury item to have a lot of depth, especially experienced depth. But we're just going to have to manage it best we can to get as many guys in there. But I felt good about our pitching, and I think our pitching will only get better. And first two games you saw today was more what Xavier's offense is. They're put up a couple of runs at any time. And we were lucky, and we did a really good job of minimizing and the whip in both the first two games. We allowed 9 walks and hits in each of the first two games. So if you have a whip of 1.0, which it was in the first two games, you're going to win a lot of games, and the whole team's down. And we did a good job of that. Today was a little more indicative of what a ACC caliber offense looks like. Older guys, physical guys, can hit the ball hard. But still, we did enough to get the series sweep, but it wasn't easy today, and we knew it wasn't going to be.
Yes, Alden Mathis, what have you seen from him since he arrived that kind of allowed him to become that cleanup hitter for you guys? And how do you feel like he produced in his opening weekend?
Yeah, so I mean, the cleanup hitter for us, by cleanup, it sounds like it's always the RBI guy, the big home run hitter. For us, we also need a guy that just makes contact and just finds his way on base. And Alden is gonna, he's just got the ability to put the bat on the ball. And we felt like with Canarella and Taylor and Wright that they were gonna be on base a lot. And so having somebody like Alden who's not only gonna draw walks, but is gonna make contact, he would be a really good candidate, to get something going. And if for some reason we did go 1, 2, 3, and you got him leading off an inning and he gets on base a lot, that's a good way to start an inning. So he just seemed like a natural fit, and it's just a lot of threats, but he's old, he's a veteran, he's got experience, he's got really good bat to ball skills. He can hit the long ball, he can steal bases, but he just moves the baseball. He puts the barrel on the ball, and he does it at a high rate. So having a guy like that in the lineup, to give you just stability in the middle and high production in the middle, that's a good guy to have there.
How would you gauge Aiden's first start today?
Good. If he would have thrown, given up no hits or gave up a bunch of hits, it was either way it was going to be good. And I'm glad it was, in his mind, probably what he feels like was a little bit rocky and not the start that he wanted to have, because it's an opportunity to improve on top of that. And his next start will be better than this last one was. And any freshman making their collegiate debut and they're a weekend starter on a good team who's playing for a sweep. There's a lot of reasons why a freshman wouldn't maybe be as crisp as what he will be in his next few outings. But he's very talented. Obviously, we wouldn't have him in the rotation if he wasn't. But he's got a bright future. He's got a really good changeup, swing and miss changeup. And as these guys get ramped up and get going, once we, as this next few weeks and months come, I think our pitching staff's gonna probably have the biggest room for growth, just as we build our pitch tolerance and our arm strength and arm endurance and all the things, build it up as the season goes. So he's certainly a candidate that, once school ends about the end of April and he becomes a sophomore in May, that's when you start to see some of these freshmen really turn the corner.
guess
Any other questions for Coach?
Getting back to Jack Crichton, again, a guy who hasn't played a ton, for him to have that one out walk in that fifth inning that you guys, and Cantarella pushes them, and then you guys kind of get pressure on him and score runs and ends up 2-4. I mean, what does that say about him as an athlete to be able to kind of pop in and have a good day like that?
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that, you know, he had a good summer. He's a really good player. He was a highly touted kid. He was committed to Michigan, and we felt like he was the best player in Michigan in his class. So it was important to get him here. He's a big time prospect. He's 6'3", he can run, he's got, he keeps getting stronger. He's still kind of got that baby face, so he's just, you can tell his best days are ahead of him from just a man strength and physicality standpoint. I really think he's gonna just, really has a chance to break out once he gets enough repetitions underneath him, gets enough at-bats. So, we're gonna have to figure out how to get him in there. I feel the same way about Nate Hall and really a lot of these guys. They just need the playing time. But the playing time's always hard to come by when you've got a lot of depth in the lineup. So Jack is very talented. We got to get him in there. We got to keep finding ways to get him in there. But I think what we saw today is who he is. He's a guy that can hit the ball all over the field. He can knock in runs. He can go first to third like he did twice today. He's just a good athlete, good explosive athlete, great kid, hard worker, and his best days are ahead of him, no doubt.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, thank